Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about my favorite Italian textbooks because personally speaking, I feel like it's hard to find textbooks after a certain level. Like, it seems like a lot of textbooks out there or resources are geared more at like beginner levels, A1, A2. So I feel like kind of once you reach B2, maybe even B1, gets really hard to find resources or adequate resources to help you study, whether it be for a class or on your own. So I just want to make this video to show you some of my favorite Italian textbooks that have helped me in the past 4 years. And also, I wanted to mention that since June is upon us, I will be trying to make a video every day in the month of June because summer's approaching. It's a great time to work on language learning goals, and I want to help you with that. So if there's something you want to see in June, let me know in the comments. I'm going to try. Can't guarantee or promise it, but yeah, that's at least one of my summer goals. So let's get started. So like I mentioned before, I feel like there are already a lot of resources out there for beginners, A1, A2. So I do not have a lot of those materials, or I won't be mentioning a lot of them in this video. Mostly, I would say B1 through C2. But I do have one that is A1. I used this when I was in an Italian course, and it's Nuovo Espresso. But they have textbooks from A1 to C2, and I currently use, a textbook that's more appropriate for my level because I'm not an A1 anymore. But I do really like their textbooks, their setup. I like learning it, using it in class, learning whatever we were learning about, I don't know. And I really like the activities and exercises they have in the book. I'll be putting all the links to where you can find these in the description, of course. And so moving on, we have Bravissimo, and this also they have A1 through B2, I'm pretty sure. This is Quaderno degli Esercizi, but I think there's a Libro dello Studente. But I didn't buy that one. I only bought this one. I bought it at a bookstore in Australia when I lived there. And I really loved this textbook because they're like short units. There's a chapter and there's a theme for every chapter. So this, for example, C'era una volta. And it has an answer key that goes along with it. It's one you download, so if you have a phone, you can just pull it up out of your downloads every time you finish whatever exercise or activity, and then check your answer key. There's a vocab section for every theme, every unit. Let's see, I think there's 10 units. I think that's a pretty good amount, and it's not like an overwhelming amount, I think. It's not a very thick chapter. If you're a type of person who kind of wants to take it at a slower pace, I would recommend this. I don't know what you get with the Libro dello Studente because I didn't buy that one. I didn't know it existed before buying this one. So I don't know what goes on with that one, but I like this one. It was great. I loved it. Moving on. We have B2 level Traguardo. Chills for the Chills exam. So here's the thing, guys. This book is obviously great if you're preparing for the B2 Chills exam. If you're not, I still would recommend it, and that's why I included it in this video, because it has content that you're going to be using not just like to improve your conversational Italian, but let's say if you're more in a professional kind of environment, maybe like one day you want to work in Italy, if you want to study abroad in Italy, this is going to help you because there are scenarios that will help you with university educational wise kind of environments and professional too. But at the same time, I think it gives you a lot of resources to improve on your Italian in general. So it's not just like a super educational resource for those of you just preparing for the Chills exam. And the thing is, they have lots of exercises that are going to help you prepare for the exam that are exercises that you would see in the exam. For example, we have prova di ascolto, but also they have exercises that aren't really, like something you might see in the exam that would help you, like that you would see in a regular textbook, let's say. And each unit, each chapter is based on a theme. So let's go to the table of content. As you can see, buon lavoro, l'era digitale. So it's all kind of based on what you would expect to see at the level of the B2 exam. But there's something that I want to point out, and this is also the company from Bravissimo 3. It's Edizione Casa delle Lingue. Let me just zoom right in on that. The thing with this company is that the editors made some mistakes in the answer key. Also, this answer key is something you have to download. So it's not in the book, but just to let you know so you don't have to feel like, there's another book that you have to buy with the answer key. The answer key is free. It even says on the back where you can find the answer key if you buy the book. I got this on Amazon, by the way. And there are typos and some mistakes in the answer key. I don't remember if it's a lot, if it's a little, but I do remember seeing them. So what I did was whenever I was unsure about something, I used italki also as a supplementary source to practice for the Chills exam. So I would use that to ask my teachers, like, I think this is wrong, can you double check? And that's how I solved that problem. Yeah, that's the only thing I want to mention that I didn't like about that. But other than that, I love this textbook. I don't know if this is an actual textbook, but I'm going to count it anyways. Practice makes perfect. I use this for like every language I study on this brand. And so, once again, I don't know if you consider it a textbook, but it helps. Like, this literally has every verb tense. Something that bothered me, I guess, would say this: if you're an advanced learner, this probably isn't going to be as helpful as someone who's at a beginner or intermediate level, because you spend like 60 some pages working on the present tense, which is an important tense. Obviously, there's a lot of irregular verbs and irregular, endings. And then you spend like 4 pages on the imperfect subjunctive, for example. And I feel like subjunctive is an advanced tense that is more difficult. Maybe, I don't know, I can't say how, much more difficult it is than other tenses. I don't really know how to judge that kind of thing, but I'm just saying there's not as much examples or exercises to do for the more advanced tenses. Present tense obviously is a very important tense to know. Not saying that it's not. You know what I mean? And then the last textbook I want to mention is for the C1, C2 level. Nuovo Magari. Okay, so something I want to say before I start talking about this textbook is that I bought this textbook thinking that there was an answer key inside the book, part of the book. There's an answer key only for the test modules. They give you, for each, after the C1 units, they give you a test. After the C2 unit chapters, they give you a test with the answer key. I could not find an answer key for the rest of the exercises, so I always had to go to my Italian teachers, whether if it was grammar exercises or something like that. And I don't know if that's because you have to buy the teacher book. I don't know if there's something I didn't buy that I was supposed to. If there's somewhere online where I can find the answer key, I don't really know. Bought this a year ago, but I really enjoyed doing the exercises. So I'm going to mention it in this video anyways, and maybe there's someone who owns the book and knows where you can find the answer key for the other exercises, and we'll put that in the comments, hopefully, or maybe I'll find it out the answer by the time I make this video or edit and publish it. Bear with me though. All right, so I really like this book because, first of all, it's for advanced learners. So if you're at a C1, C2 level and you are having a hard time finding resources, this book is great. Also, I would use this to study for my Chills exam, C2 level, and it actually had exercises that looked like resources you would use to study for the Chills exam. And at the time, I couldn't find a test prep book at a C2 level, so that was super helpful. I think all of the units in this book are super, super interesting. I learn a language most of the time because the culture interests me. That's one of the number one reasons why I learn a language. And so this kind of had units based on cultural things. So you have art, geography, society, history, language, dialects. That's super interesting to me. I don't know if it is to you, but if these sound interesting to you, then it's something you're really going to like. And there's kind of exercises. Some of them were confusing for me, but I'm not good with reading directions and following them. So that could be why too. There's a CD for audio. I love it when textbooks come with that. And there's like exercises you can do off them. There were things like that are hard for me that this book covered that were super helpful, like pronominal verbs, stuff like that. Anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will put all the resources in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys all on the flip side. Ciao, ciao.